guys, Jeffree Star went on Dumb Blonde's podcast that, she had him on there. And when he was on there, he was talking so much smack about James Charles. He was saying how he was a monster. He was saying how, calling some people out because they were supporting his brand, saying that he is the worst human being. Jeffree Star on this podcast was saying how James Charles, and he called him out. He said, it's just like, you have to tell me later who you talking about. And he flat out said, James Charles. I'm talking about James Charles. And he was saying how he is the worst human being. And Jeffree Star has called out James Charles, over the years, several times over the years. But in this podcast, he was getting down dirty and saying at first he was trying to didn't really want to say it. He was trying to reword what he was trying to say. And he was trying to go around it like that. And then he just flamed out and just said, it's James Charles, and was telling all about how crappy he was. Now, James Charles, he liable to come back. This is my opinion. He liable to come back and say his thoughts to Jeffree Star. I don't know that yet, but I'm just saying my thoughts. I didn't know if y'all seen that podcast. He went on Dumb Blondes and, talking about James Charles so bad. And when I say bad, I mean bad. Now, as they talking through the podcast now about, James Charles come up. He calls out Kim Kardashian too for supporting James. Also, too, Jeffree Star does. But while they was talking, right before he called out James Charles, saying exactly who he was talking about after he done went around the block, she says, then see the rest of my stuff on my Patreon. So, little everybody goes to the Patreon, and that's where he really talks about it. I mean, the whole full video is on there, and he's getting down. So that's why, she's sitting here listening to Jeffree talk about James, Dumb Blonde is, and he's, telling all his feelings. She don't interrupt him or nothing, just let him talk about it. And like I said, the whole video, part of it is on YouTube, and then the rest of it's on her podcast. On her Patreon, sorry. And I don't know why she split it up like that, but she did. But it's still the whole video of how bad he's talking about James Charles. And James Charles is going to see it. Since he's on this podcast, she is a big creator. Jeffree Star is a big creator. So my guess is that since she's so big and he was on here and he's so big, James Charles is going to see this. I just can't wait for James Charles to see what his reaction is to this. This is my opinion now. Since these two are on the podcast, Jeffree Star is calling out so much, I just wonder if James Charles is going to have a reaction, or is he going to blow it up on the rug? Ain't worried about what's talked about. Ain't worried about what Jeffree Star says. It just sets me sitting here thinking, because as bad and nasty things that Jeffree Star said about James Charles, to sit there and call somebody a monster and the worst person and all of this stuff, it's like, my opinion, I'd have a reaction because I'd have something to say, but we don't know that yet. We have to wait. We have to play it out. I want to know, y'all let me know, did y'all see this video about Jeffree on Dumb Blonde's podcast? If you did, but I just want to know your thoughts. Let me know if you've seen it. And like I said, the whole video's on Patreon. She won't please put a little on YouTube of halfway through it, but the full blown is the rest on Patreon. Wow. Wow, Jeffree Star. Wow. I cannot believe he was that dirty. Like I said, he tried to go around the bush, but then it's just, nope. He just gonna tell it like it is. Like I said, why do I keep saying James Charles? Jeffree Star is so blunt. He's blunt. He don't hold back. He don't filter. He's blunt. That's just the way he is. I guess that's just his personality. But to get on a podcast and say it, I don't know. But y'all let me know y'all's thoughts, because I really, really, really want to know what y'all thoughts is on this. I told you what I thought. I told you what's happening. Let me hear y'all, because I'm just, wow. It's like drama. Like Jeffree calling out James Charles is so drama, which James Shaw's been called out a lot here lately. But I'm just saying, it's Jeffree Star, y'all. Let me know.